Rob G, we had a game that a lot of folks paying attention to, of course, with the Lakers, and it ended up being a game against the Orlando Magic that ended not magical for the Lakers.
That's a nice way of putting it. Another way of putting it is they fumbled away multiple double-digit leads and then couldn't even get a shot off at the end of the game to lose to the Orlando Magic.
You sound like a Laker fan.
It was a rough scene all around at Crypto.com. Long story short, Lakers down by
but
one.
Orlando. I mean, some people left happy.
No, they didn't. Down by one, about 6.5 seconds left. Lakers draw up a play to get Luca a 35-foot three-pointer. Doesn't even take a shot, passes it to LeBron James. He throws up a desperation shot at the buzzer. Miss. Lakers lose after the game. A lot of confusion in the locker room about what happened. Here's LeBron and Luca in the postgame.
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you have to ask Luca what he saw on that, but I thought he had a good look, and it looked like he kind of just lost his balance, didn't have a rhythm with the ball, whatever the case may be. And it kind of allowed him to get back in front of him. I was kind of off balance when he gave it to me. I thought he had a great look, but that's what I looked. That's my POV.
Did you and LeBron have any communication about the final play after it was over? When you passed it to him, did you think he had a shot, or did you recognize that it was kind of be a tough opportunity?
I mean, I just saw him open. I didn't want to lose the ball, and we didn't have timeouts, But like I said, I shouldn't have picked up the ball. I should have tagged. I thought I was getting a clean look, but that's on me. I know I was open, but I just thought I was a little bit far. Try to take one dribble closer. Probably shouldn't have picked up the ball. Just try to attack.
Another thing that we saw, Rob G, if you're into the mouth reading thing and all that, Luca said after the game, after it happened, on the sidelines right after the play, kind of talking to his teammates, he said, LeBron told me to pass the ball, so I passed the ball. Kind of like, if you remember, of course, you went to Michigan, you remember the timeout, and Chris Webber's like, y'all telling me to call timeout?
We're 6 minutes in. That's how you want to start this?
I know, my bad. And I don't even lie. I was a 12-year-old boy in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I didn't want to see that.
I'm about to say, we're 6 minutes in, and my basketball team has lost 2 games, and it's February 25th.
Listen,
and this how you?
No, I'm just saying. I was sitting there. I was sitting there with the little TV crying, like, ah. But I bring that up to say this, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
To me, what we saw was a glimpse of why this needs to end. This LeBron, Luca, LeBron. We know it's Luca's team, but isn't that? Because I think in his subconscious, he is so used to being alpha. He's so used to being – we saw it. It's not like we're new to this. We saw what he did in Dallas for 5 years, 6 years. Dominant, taking shots, big shots, all that. And I think there was a part of him that just simply, even if it was a 5% of his brain that pump faked, like, LeBron, what would he – and he just gives it to LeBron. And LeBron, like, you're wide open. And it was almost kind of a reverse Spider-Man situation where, like,
sure.
Wait, you, because there's been times where we all thought, well, LeBron, you can shoot that. Why didn't you shoot that? You overthought that. And then Luca had a LeBron, like, I overthought that moment. And a part of it, to me, is just a microcosm or an example of why this just isn't going to work. There's multiple reasons in that both of you guys are ball dominant. Both of the guys aren't playing defense. LeBron tries at times, but he can't give it to you like he used to at 40-something years old, and Luka's just not capable of it. And I just thought when I saw that, like, this is just why it's not going to work. And you also saw confusion because, well, at that game, between the three of them, if you include Austin Reeves, they'd only played 12 games together. Here we are, the last 20-so games of the season. So there's still that confusion. You shoot, no, you get a better shot. Wait, no, because you could argue – Austin Reeves is kind of better at, creating some space at times, and maybe he felt like, what about me? And you can just see they haven't been able to be in sync. And also that becomes a reflection, Rob would love this, of J.J. Redick, in that he doesn't necessarily have the fluidity. And I bring that up to go back further than that single shot, Martin, where they kept getting leads, and the leads will go away.
Yep.
Leads will go away. What's rotation? Wait, okay, so while he's out, is it LeBron's team? Okay, well, no, it's Austin Reeves because he's got to carry the ball. You can just tell they're out of sync. You can tell they don't have continuity. You can just tell they're still figuring this thing out. And the running out of time as we get closer to the season. I expect 2 of the 3 to still miss a handful of games just because it's just where they are. Luka's going to be out, I'm sure. LeBron's 50, so he's going to be out. And they're never going to have what you want. And it'd be okay because this is the last hurrah of this. And I think you have to, if you're the Lakers, you say, hey, we'll go as far as we can. We'll see what we got, knowing the full unadulterated Luka experience begins the minute they lose in the playoffs coming up here in a month and a half or so.
So I think you're getting the full unadulterated Luka experience, first off, especially when you see the way he talks to the referees.
Yeah, dude. at some point, it's okay to just get back.
Nah, man.
It's just okay.
I'm dying on this hill. But, if I go back on defense, then I have to run back there. It's a lot easier to stand here and yell than it is for me to run all the way back there and try to get in the way of somebody. If Luka Dončić. But this, to me, this was always an arranged marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I even think the Lakers knew that because within seemingly minutes of this trade happening in the middle of the night, they then make the deal for Mark Williams that he's eventually rescinded, right? Because they needed rim runners and all of that. And he, not for nothing, he's playing the best ball of his career this season, right?
Look up, he's tip dunking and blocking shots.
But he's not wearing purple and gold.
Right.
It's all right. Jackson Hayes, there's another mascot he might knock out coming down the way. So that'll work out. And DeAndre Ayton is going to figure it out. No. This is really what last night was to me. You said it's a lot of confusion. To me, it was pretty clear. LeBron James didn't run the play. If you watch the play that they lined it all up, LeBron James runs the play, right? Inbounds the ball, and Rob G and I were talking about this pre-show. That's a play they stole from the Warriors. Steph caught it and shot it. They run that play. LeBron, J.J. Redick prides himself too much as a basketball ball knower to draw up a play in which there's a screen at the top of the key or, extended out that way, somebody else in the corner, and the action is supposed to be headed towards that left side with the inbounder standing right there. He's too smart to do that. I know he wouldn't have never done that. This, to me, is the first visible, audible, things are not right at home. This Hollywood couple is headed for divorce. And you heard it, because if you operate under the assumption that LeBron said, you drew up a play out of timeout, and I said, forget that play. I want the ball. I'm going to shoot it, right? Which that is not something I don't even really begrudge him for too much, honestly, because it's something that every single star player does it in the league.
Or should.
Every single star player does that, I promise you. And some of the guys who aren't even stars, just the highest paid guy on the team, will sometimes be like, I don't like that play. I'm running my own play. Cool. That's what I think happened. And I think that's why you hear post-game from first Dave McMenamin asked Luca, did you talk to LeBron after that play?
He said no.
No. That was it. No. And then he said, essentially, I passed it because I saw he was open, right? LeBron goes, I thought he had a great look. Most of the time, we got to watch the tape. We'll figure it out. Was a miscommunication? No. This was a whole bunch of people pointing fingers, not thumbs. And if you look at it, it's the two most important players on the Lakers pointing fingers at each other. 100%. And it's because neither one of them is about to take the smoke for that. Luka Dončić talking about, I wanted to get closer. I've watched every single playoff game Luka Dončić has played in his career. He has no problem shooting from there. But the thing was, the reason why I think he pulled up pump fake, there was an extra defender there that wasn't supposed to be because LeBron was supposed to run through, and he didn't.
And that goes to why, again, it cannot exist. Because historically, if this happened with the LeBron-led team, well, even if it was LeBron's fault, somebody else is going to get the smoke, right? Yep. The coach is going to say it, or writers are going to say it, or LeBron, someone else will get it. And this one is like, well, LeBron, to your point, you don't run through. Why are you not in the right place? Well, Luka, I should have shot it, but I'm trying to get out of the way and maybe get an extra dribble to get this defender away, but you're just standing there, so I got to kind of pump fake and give it to you. So it just was absolutely, to me, a microcosm of a bigger problem that they have. Ultimately, this ain't going to work, and we've known that. And to me, again, you're just going to ride this out. LeBron is going to be able to go wherever he is. They're going to move on. And if that's why I said the full experience, I don't disagree with you about we know Luka's not all of a sudden going to be peak Kawhi Leonard defensively, but I think what I mean by the experience is now, if you're the Lakers, you say, now we have to build everything around him. There's no more kind of coddling LeBron, whatever. Now this is your team. There's no excuses. There's no massive shadow to be in the shadow of LeBron. There's none of this. It's your team. We believe you need an X, Y, and Z around you. We're going to go get you it. Rob Pelinka, you're on the clock. You're going to get an X, Y, and Z around you, and it's up. We're all on the clock now. The LeBron Luka thing, we tried, hey, maybe we can sneak something in. It didn't work. It's on now. And that's, to me, what we just saw, like why it has to move on. Because it's too much, too close to each other, figuratively and literally. So, on the court, we saw it, and, of course, just two giants in the way.
I'll just say this, and I don't fundamentally disagree with you. Like, I don't think that, like, I would not further invest into this Lakers structure currently. But I tell you, man, for a guy who already is out of shape during the regular season, for a guy who already has more technical fouls than dunks by like triplicate, right? Like he is a whiner and he doesn't get off the floor. Luka Dončić is who I'm talking about.
Right.
You said prime Kawhi Leonard on defense. How about prime Steph Curry on defense? How about getting in the way? How about foul 6 times? Just do that. Because that means you were close enough on defense to have fouled somebody 6 times.
I can't do that because then I'm going to score 40.
Exactly.
If I foul
out.
But
if Luka Dončić just had 4 fouls, I'd be like, all right, cool. That means you were close enough to guard somebody, right? So this will mean he'll want a power struggle with Rick Carlisle and Dallas. Got a new head coach, right? Then got traded and humbled, right? Theoretically speaking. He'll win another power struggle with this one in LeBron. It's just for a guy who already, seemingly to me, I know Men's Health wrote the article. I know all summer we quoted it. Skinny Luka's a problem. Well, Skinny Luka ain't skinny no more.
Something's changed.
Okay.
A few LBs have been, I ain't talking LeBrons, have been added
Maybe
on.
when that Men's Health article misquoted the AI summary of Luka Dončić at the combine and misconfused him with Dante DiVincenzo, we should have thrown the whole thing away.
That man. He looked great, and he looks better than he has, but he definitely looks like he's hurting out there. There was a point in the game towards the end, limping back after he got a bucket, got a layup, and was limping back. Yeah, but again, I still think he's capable. You just have to have the exact perfect squad around him to at least be a contending team. I've said to Rob, I don't believe that type of ball anymore, that Iverson, that prime LeBron, just I'm the system. I don't think that works. The James Harden, I'm the system.
Heliocentric.
I don't think that works anymore. You got to have, I call it hockey line shifts. You're bringing in a bunch of guys, hungry. I'm going to play 5 straight minutes. Great defense, moving the ball, creating. Next 5 up, and obviously you have to have a star, but you can't just be star reliant. Like, he'll just drag us there and get it done. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.